Empire Television. Kern County in depth with 17's Jim Scott.
Welcome. Good to have you with us this weekend. To hear it from the people on the front lines, Bakersfield is a crossroads for human trafficking in California. Human trafficking involves the recruitment, harboring, or transporting of people into a situation of exploitation through the use of violence, deception, or coercion, where individuals are forced to work against their will. Many see human trafficking as something confined to the third world, but it is happening right here in Kern County and frequently involves sexual exploitation. It's said to be the second fastest growing segment of organized crime in our country. So what's being done to combat it? We begin our program with this in-depth report by 17's Karen Waugh.
Well, I jumped out of a two-story window.
Locked in the closet for like 3 days.
8 out of 10 are not out there by choice.
I felt like I was gonna die.
No food, no water, no nothing.
If a woman doesn't want to have sex with someone and they're forcing her to have sex, she's being raped.
Human trafficking. In the past decade, more than 40,000 cases have been reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
Human trafficking is a relatively new subject. It's only 18 years old, second fastest growing crime in the world, and I think we're all trying to get our heads around it and figure out what the best way is to fight this epidemic.
Sex is for sale in Kern County, but a plan to solve the problem doesn't seem to exist. Deidre Hubbard has been selling her body since she was 18. She's still working the streets at 43.
Hopefully you can get through the day without a beating, cigarettes put out on you, your hair being pulled.
So when I had met my trafficker, I was at a really low point in my life.
Candace Shepard got out of the life 3 years ago.
I've never been so scared in my life.
Both Shepard and Hubbard relocated from the Central Valley to Nevada, lured with the promise of better lives. That's where their nightmares began.
You were in fear of your life.
Forced to have sex with groups of men, pimps made sure they didn't see a dime. The constant threats of violence made it nearly impossible to escape.
Thrown in a room with 10, 20 men for them to just do whatever. And you're supposed to just take it.
I was broken. I was so broken.
Polaris is the nonprofit in charge of the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Kern County has one of the highest concentrations of trafficking in our nation, and Bakersfield is the meeting point on the road to Las Vegas.
They were specifically brought to Bakersfield.
In population, Kern County is the 11th largest in the state. What we don't have is a law enforcement-led task force.
So they knew that they could go to certain areas, whether it be truck stops, whether it be Union Avenue, and there wasn't going to be, a sting operation set up for human trafficking.
No team dedicated to going undercover, outside motels or online.
We are behind. Other counties, other task forces are doing proactive work, doing sting operations to get traffickers, and without that task force, I can see the problem only getting bigger.
It's simple math. Last month, task forces in 93 communities across California worked together to make 339 human trafficking arrests. In Kern County, our district attorney's office averages 5 cases a year. The vast majority never go to trial.
Unless we, on most cases, can get the victims into court, we end up having to do a plea agreement and not being able to get as much time or as significant of a punishment as we would like to.
Kern Coalition Against Human Trafficking co-director Dustin Contreras says starting a task force could take as few as 10 people. The problem? Money. Local law enforcement would play a key role.
It's something that I think we would definitely like to have, but it's a matter of managing resources and make sure it is a significant problem. It is something that we want to be able to combat. We want to be able to respond to anything that our community has, but we only have a finite amount of resources, and we have to deploy them as we see fit.
The Kern County Sheriff's Office declined to comment for this story. Without funding, a human trafficking task force could be years down the road.
There's so many girls over there.
Magdalene Hope is a faith-based nonprofit hitting our streets, dedicated to helping trafficked women since 2009.
So the majority, the great majority, are actually being forced to do this, so they're victims, they're not criminals. And 10 out of 10 of those men who are out there, they're criminals. This guy made a U-turn and came back and then drove real slow by her.
Once a month, volunteers cruise Union Avenue, offering backpacks with food and hygiene products to women who have a long night ahead.
Would you like a free gift?
This night, they gave out 20 backpacks.
I feel for the girls who go through it because they're so scared, they're terrified.
In their decade of operation, Magdalene Hope has rescued 110 women, bringing them to a secluded shelter with counseling services. But they can only rescue women who choose to leave the life, and choice is a gray area. Do you call your career, your lifestyle, a choice?
No. I more or less use it as a means and ways of survival.
Until she can break free, Hubbard will continue to walk the streets. Kern County will continue without a task force, focused on this modern-day slavery.
17's Karen Watt joining me in studio now for a short debrief. Excellent report, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You know, I got to ask you, if human trafficking is the epidemic that some say it is, why don't we see more aggressive law enforcement to go after these modern-day slave traders?
I think it's because, in terms of law enforcement, there are a lot of priorities on their list. They have unsolved murder cases, they have homelessness, and in case of human trafficking, it's very easy to turn a blind eye for it. It is not as evident as, let's say, homelessness out there. You can't see it during the daytime on our streets. And so, in terms of prioritizing funds, human trafficking, unfortunately, just is not at the top of law enforcement's list.
And prostitution or soliciting prostitution is a misdemeanor crime, right?
That's right. And there is a very murky difference between human trafficking and pimping, and I think that's where the legal system has a lot of difficulty bringing these cases to trial, because
you mentioned moral ambiguities involved in all this. What do you mean?
Right, exactly. From a public standpoint, prostitution and human trafficking, it's messy. It is something not like homelessness where people want very easily to clean it up, where there is a very clear black and white, especially in murder cases, yes. Right, who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
When it comes to women selling their bodies for sex, I think many people are very quick to victim blame, victim shame, slut shame women who feel that they have no other option in this lifestyle.
Believing that they're there by choice.
Exactly.
But isn't that the distinction to be made between the street prostitute who's out there on her own and the 16-year-old girl who's also prostituting herself, but at the will of someone else?
I think that's where the murky area really comes in, because for the 16-year-old, it's easy to say she's a minor, she was coerced into this lifestyle, she doesn't know better because she's a child. For someone like Deidre, who we featured in this story, she is 43 and still willingly selling her body even without a pimp, but she is still a victim in this whole systemic case of human trafficking because she was once trafficked. She has a lot of trauma and mental damage that makes her believe that in her life, she is nothing more than just her body. She has no marketable skills other than selling her body, is what she has been brainwashed to believe.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. He went on this ride along with Doug Bennett and some of his volunteers at Magdalene Hope, the nonprofit that goes out and tries to restore these broken lives on the street. What else did you observe that we didn't see in the video?
I think the most jarring thing I observed was that it was so evident. Of course, we can't show naked bodies on screen here, but you walk in just these hotel parking lots, these motel parking lots.
Along Union Avenue.
Along Union Avenue, that's right. And the doors are wide open, and there are just these women who are stark naked, not a shred of clothing on them. It is literally in plain sight. So if you don't see that on Union Avenue, you are literally turning a blind eye.
Union Avenue historically has always been a hotbed for prostitution, but has it now taken a turn for the more devious and more insidious trade of sex slaves as opposed to just your ordinary prostitution, the oldest profession in the world? Has it changed?
I believe there are probably a lot of traffickers and trafficking cases in on Union Avenue that we just aren't privy to, that we just don't see, because we don't have a task force really proactively going after these cases, looking for what needs to be seen.
Yeah, and so in the absence of ramped up law enforcement against human trafficking, the burden is on local nonprofits, faith-based nonprofits who are out there trying to treat the symptoms and not the source.
Right. I think people like Doug Bennett with Magdalene Hope and many of these other faith-based organizations, they're doing a very good job doing what they can to tackle, like you said, the symptoms, the women who want to come out of the life. But again, wanting to come out of the life comes with choice. It doesn't come with that proactive going after the Johns, the men in this case.
Yeah.
And that's the ability that law enforcement has, to go after the men.
And the ringleaders, too.
That's right.
Karen Watt, thanks.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back and talk with some of the people on the front lines in this battle against human trafficking. When we come back, you're watching Kern County in Depth.
Sad wings. Oh. Happy Wings. Hungry? Try our family meal deal. 33 Happy Wings, 2 happy sides, 3 medium drinks, and happy veggies for only $39.95. Happy Wings.
Termites. Feasting on homes 24/7. We're on the move. Roger.
All good?
Oh yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Termites never stop trying to get in. We never stop working to keep them out. Terminix, defenders of home.
From fixing a broken sprinkler to designing and remodeling your entire yard, Kern Custom Landscape is committed to providing excellent workmanship and craftsmanship to make our clients' dreams a reality. Kern Custom Landscape is dedicated to the hardworking people of Kern County with over 25 years of experience providing the best quality at the best value. Call us today to schedule your free estimate, 661-496-6952, or visit us at kerncustomlandscape.com.
You're out! What's your opening day? Camping World is clearing the lot with huge savings on our entire inventory. With all RVs priced to sell now. New 2019 travel trailers starting at only $115 per month. And for a limited time, score home run deals of up to 40% off gear and accessories during Camping World's opening day sales event. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
Sad wings. Oh. Happy Wings. Crispy, crunchy, and savory. That's the Happy Wings way. Come in for our 20 Happy Wings, 1 happy side, and happy veggies for only $19.95. Happy Wings.
Welcome back. With me in studio now, Veronica Delgado. She is a counselor with Magdalene Hope, a local faith-based nonprofit dedicated to restoring the lives of human trafficking victims. Dustin Contreras is co-director of the Kern Coalition Against Human Trafficking, which coordinates the overall response here in Kern County to all forms of modern-day slavery, and he's working with some 50 government and non-governmental organizations in that respect. And Cynthia Giamara, she is with Project Rescue, an outreach program founded by the Women's Ministry at Canyon Hills Church to raise funds and awareness about this issue. Welcome to you all. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Let me start with this. You know, some people watching this program might say human trafficking is just a modern day term for prostitution, the world's oldest profession, and you've heard it before, prostitution is a victimless crime. What would you say to people who might approach you with that line of thinking? Let me start with you, Veronica.
Okay. Well, according to national statistics, human trafficking is the second fastest growing crime in the United States. It is a crime affecting multiple generations. Traffickers typically look for praise within the age ranges starting at 11. So for us, or for people to assume that it's modern day, or that it is a past, that's an incorrect term. It's incorrect and incorrect thinking. The truth is that if we don't educate our children, because of social media and the rapid pace that it's taking, human trafficking, our children are exposed.
Anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll add to that, Jim. When we think about prostitution, we need to think beyond just who we're seeing on the street right there at the age that she might be as an adult who's over 21. in most cases, those women would have been trafficked and would have been brought into that, what we call slavery, at a much younger age. And in that formative years of teenage years, when they're in there starting perhaps as young as 12, 13, 14 years old, and for years they're kept imprisoned, if you will, when they become majority age, that's what they know. That's what they're doing. But I would never say that it's by choice. I would say that it's a result of what's happened in the previous years.
Fair enough. Now I assume you've all been out there and seen the dark underbelly of the human trafficking community, if you will, or this criminal enterprise. What have you observed out there? I know that you've been out on these ride-alongs to go out and make contact with prostitutes on the streets on Union Avenue. What have you seen? What is the most shocking thing you've seen?
Okay, she mentioned something really important. That's the fact that some of these women is all that they know. What I've noticed based on my experience is that a lot of the prostitution or the trafficking that occurs out there, there has been some sort of trauma at a primitive age that has been instilled. Now, as far as a choice for them to go out there, many don't have a choice. If that is a choice, it's a choice of the choiceless. In other words, they don't really understand that they are being enslaved and that they're being forced. Some of the stuff that I've experienced out there, and I can share a short story, is a young woman who was probably in her early 20s, and as we approached her to give her a gift bag, and typically our gift bags have toiletries, food. Sure. Some of the women have to be working, and they have to meet a quota. If that quota is not met, they won't eat. And because of it, we incorporated some gift bags, and in there we provide some food, snacks, something they could eat fast. Right. And when we approached this young woman, I asked her if we could pray for her after receiving a bag, and she said yes. And when I asked her what she needed prayer for, she stated that she needed prayer for herself and her baby. She had just had a baby 7 days prior to being out in the street. So, with that said, you know, a lot of in the public and a lot of us women know what that means.
Yeah. You know, the consensus seems to be, let me switch gears here. The consensus seems to be, from a law enforcement standpoint, Kern County's behind the curve, if you will, in going after these traffickers and rooting out the root cause of human trafficking here in Bakersfield and Kern County. They say there's no, you know, law enforcement here says not enough money, resources are strapped, manpower is low, and we can't be talking about ratcheting up a task force to go after this criminal enterprise. Dustin, I want to start with you. You have a background in law enforcement. If money and manpower were not an issue, how would you go at this? Where would you focus your energy?
Well, you kind of said it, Jim. It'd be a task force. Most of the counties that surround Kern County have a task force, and they are law enforcement led. When it comes down to bare bones, law enforcement can't do it alone. That's why coalitions like the Kern Coalition Against Human Trafficking exist, to set the framework for a task force. So when those resources and monies become available, we can hit the ground running. So with grassroots organizations and our faith-based groups, we're able to kind of sustain a skeleton crew to that. But when you look at it statewide and nationwide, there are some issues when you don't have a task force, and some of these crimes can continue when you can't investigate them.
And in the absence of law enforcement, then it's up to the nonprofits, supported by local businesses, to treat the symptoms then of human trafficking and not the root causes, right?
Correct. I mean, if you look at trafficking and the word of it, you replace human with drug. When we attack drug traffickers, that's done at a more in-depth investigation. It's not done at the $5 and $10 drug dealer on the street corner. It's, you go for the bigger connection, the supply of that. Who's supplying that? Right. Who's supplying that commodity? And
the sting operation is often a strategy used in those kind of cases.
You know, and you know, we have the best law enforcement in Kern County, hands down. Sure. Without those resources, the arms are cut off. You can't reach out to that. So when that can happen, yes, there are sting operations. I mean, you attack different ways in how human trafficking is able to flourish here in Kern County. And sometimes at our sting operations, outreach through our faith-based partners, that is the biggest thing that gets awareness out there, as well as lets victims know and survivors know that we're here.
All right, I ran over a little bit on that segment. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll continue our discussion after the break. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
So, how was school?
Boring. Until 5th period, when I conquered my algebra test.
Get legendary with Round Table Pizza, featuring time-honored recipes and superior ingredients topped to the edge. Round Table.
I can't believe BTS is going to be dancing on this stage. I am camping out on this stage until BTS gets here.
Emma, I don't know if you have time for this because you're hosting the show, so.
Whatever, Beck. You friggin' host.
For real? I can host? You let me host the show for you?
I'd like to thank the community of Bakersfield for helping my real estate teams become the top producing teams in Bakersfield, selling over $150 million of residential real estate in the past 3 years. Experience, communication, knowledge, and an honest caring for our clients' best interests, that's what sets us apart from all other agents. With the most up-to-date marketing tools and negotiating skills to give you the best advantage of selling your home or getting your offer accepted on your family's next home, visit our website at www.myprestigeproperties.com.
Today I came to Honey Baked Ham to pick up my Easter ham.
It's a staple in our household. Every year we have to get it.
There's nothing like it. The crunch, the sweetness.
Amazing.
The sides, there is no negotiation in my house, are the cheesy potatoes and the cream corn.
Champagne mustard and the pineapple chutney.
I don't have to make anything anymore.
I think I'm going to get a Honey Baked Ham.
Mom got a Honey Baked Ham.
Not having Easter without Honey Baked Ham. This Easter, come home with Honey Baked Ham.
The old way isn't always the best way. We Help You Legal is the new way of doing things. Prepare legal documents with no lawyers and no high costs. It's time to change the way you take care of legal matters. Call or visit wehelpyoulegal.com today.
Welcome back. Cynthia Jamara, Project Rescue brought out the Red Bucket Brigade a week or so ago. This is your annual fundraiser. You were at several locations around Bakersfield. You raised about $22,000 and you're still counting, right?
Right, that's right.
How are you going to use that money?
That money is going to be split into three different organizations. Half of it will go to the Kern County Coalition Against Human Trafficking, and the other half will be shared between SoCal Network, which is an Assemblies of God network that reaches out overseas. And this year they're going into 6 European cities where trafficking is heavy in the refugee camps to bring education and awearness into the camps.
And the dark underbelly. Right. I mean, it's even darker and seedier than it is in this country, isn't it, overseas?
And our vision is to we'll go from the neighborhoods here to the nations overseas, and then we'll keep another fraction of the money will stay here with an organization that ministers to women in the strip clubs.
Very good. You know, during Red Bucket Day, we ran across this family that was traveling across the country, excuse me, to raise awareness about human trafficking. They've been in 20 states so far, more than 25 cities in the last 19 months. It's the Levesque family. Kay Levesque says she was driven to action after watching a documentary on human trafficking 7 years ago. She decided to uproot her family and go on this cross-country journey to raise awareness. I want to listen to this. Listen to this soundbite.
Slavery still exists, that slaves look like children. Children are being sold for sex in free America, and when I realized that, my heart just broke. So Renee was only 5 at the time, but all I could do was picture what if that were her in situations like that, and it's really set me on a course to do something about it. So I just thought if awareness would lead me to act, then awareness will lead other people to act. And so we believe that if people understand the issue of human trafficking, if they know the warning signs, if they know how to engage, it will prevent more boys and girls from being trafficked.
What a remarkable family. Kay Levesque says it's as bad here as anywhere they have visited so far. What are your reflections on what this family's doing?
They actually came out with Magdalene Hope a couple weeks ago, and we were able to take them out to the street and pass out some of our bags to the community. When they came out here, they witnessed the need in Kern County and how, yes, firsthand.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that until awareness is increased,
yes,
I think more awareness, more will be done.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go hand in hand, and they're raising awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what it does, it shows you just what a normal citizen can do.
Yes.
Just what a normal unsung hero doing something as simple as awareness and traveling with their family across the country and making a change and a difference.
I talked with her on the phone today, and she says that they do informal surveys. Her family does informal polling among community members in each city that they visit, and they ask them, rate your self-awareness on human trafficking on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being lowest, 5 being highest, and she says most of them, 90% of them, are at a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
So that tells us then we got some work to do.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I want to thank you for all the work that you're doing. Cynthia Jamara, Dustin Contreras, Veronica Delgado, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion down the road, no doubt about that.
Look forward to it.
All right, I'm back with a final word after this.
I'm Alex Trebek, here to tell you about the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
The 3 what?
The 3 Ps?
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54 and I was a smoker, but quit. Alex, what's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65, retired, and take medications. What's my price?
Also, $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80 and I'm on a fixed income. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you, too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan, available through the Colonial Penn program. It has an affordable rate starting at $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. You cannot be turned down because of your health. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. Options start at $9.95 a month. Plus, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So call now for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record your important information and give helpful direction to your loved ones with your final wishes. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3311 for free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-290-3311. 1-800-290-3311. That's 1-800-290-3311. So call now.
If you would like more information on how you can support the fight against human trafficking in Kern County, you can go to the Kern Coalition Against Human Trafficking website at kcact.org. To find out more about Magdalene Hope's ministry, go to magdalenehope.org, and you can find information about Project Rescue by logging on to project-rescue.org. That's our program for this weekend. For all of us here at 17 News, I'm Jim Scott. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Kern County In Depth with Jim Scott is a production of Kern Golden Empire Television. For more information on how you can contribute, simply visit kerngoldenempire.com.